how to spell commonly misspelled words. Now, wouldn't it be great if we could spell all these words that we are forever spelling incorrectly? I mean, isn't it so annoying? Whether you're on the computer or whether you're writing them out and you spell them incorrectly. It's equally as annoying. You know, the big red line that comes under the word when you spell it incorrectly and you're sure that you have spelt it correctly. Right. Okay, now without the aid of a computer, we are going to be going through some of these so-called difficult words. Now what you'll find is long words aren't necessarily difficult to spell. With these particular words, right, these are commonly misspelled words. So don't think for 1 minute that every word in the English language is as hard as the ones you're going to be shown today, because they're not. And even these commonly misspelled words aren't really all that hard to spell when you work out the science of spelling. Now, just to recap on where we're up to, right, these videos here, okay, these videos here, right, 100 words, 100 silent letters, right, okay, the alphabet of words part 1 and the alphabet of words part 2, all these videos are concerned with spelling, okay? They're looking into spelling in a big way. Now, in a couple of videos time, yes, not long into the future there, we will be having a great big spelling test, right? Now, all these videos, including this one, will give you the answers to that spelling test basically, so it's well worthwhile checking them all out. The alphabet of words part 1, the alphabet of words part 2, 100 words, 100 silent letters, and the video that's going to follow this one, which will be called How to Improve Your Spelling. Please check them all out. So let's get this show on the road, right, and let's see some of these words. Just before I do, right, if you think you cannot spell, ask yourself this question: can you say the alphabet and can you write it down? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Can you do that and write it down? Just like that? Well, in that case, you have actually spelt out a 26 letter word, right? Using 26 different letters. When you think about it, that's what you've done. So if you can do that, you can spell long words, right? You might say, well, fair enough, but it took me quite a while to learn the alphabet, to memorize it, to do the old A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. It took me quite a while. Yes, it does. It's like everything. You do have to learn and you do have to practice over and over again. Don't feel frustrated, okay? Don't feel frustrated if you're writing down a word and 40 times you get it wrong. 40 times you keep on making a mistake with the word. The 41st time you get it right. And eventually the word just sticks in your head. Okay? Practice makes perfect. There aren't many words in the English language which have more than 26 letters in them. Okay, there are a couple like these ones here. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Right. And here's a couple of other ones as well, some really long words. Okay, you can maybe use them as a party trick there if you like. You can impress your family and friends and say, hey, I can spell anti-disestablishmentarianism. we're not really concerned with these words in this video here. We're concerned with words that we use in everyday speech and in our everyday writing. We want to master how to spell them. Like these words here. Okay? Abscess. Abscess, a commonly misspelled word. You can see why. You can see why. The S and the C, that is where people trip up. Okay? It's up to you whether you want to say it's a silent S or whether it's a silent C. Because, as you know, both S and C give us this sound. Right, what isn't confusing is the fact that it's got two S's at the end. Because abscess, cess, right? It's giving us the E sound to E, and quite often, although not always, right, to get that sound with a letter, you will need two consonants after the vowel, right? We will be going into this in more detail in the next video, which is how to improve your spelling. So there we have it. The double S at the end isn't too surprising, because it's giving us it's transforming the E to E. But the S and the C after B does trip a lot of people up. So try and memorise that one, and by all means write them down. If you think you can actually memorise these words without writing them down, then that is absolutely fantastic, because that is the level we want to get you to. But if you think you're going to need a lot of practice with certain words, and you'll have to write them down, get them wrong, until you eventually get them right, then please do that. Don't forget, you can pause this video at any stage, right? So there we have it. Right, we're going to bring up a few here now, because we do have quite a lot to get through here, and of course time is always against us. Right, so access, assess, access, assess, access, assess. Root words. Right, verbs. Access, to access an area. To assess someone's spelling, for example. Okay. Right. Two C's, two S's in access, four S's in assess, right? I think you'll be able to memorise that one. If somebody asks you to spell access in the future, you can say, ah, yes, two C's, two S's, assess, four S's in that one. A lot of people think it is spelt, okay, access is spelt like that, which is wrong, and assess is spelt like that, which of course is wrong. That's how you spell them. Try and memorise them. There will be a test coming up at the end of the video there, where you will be tested. You'll be given 10 questions. The only thing is, you don't know which words I will be testing you on. Right, let's move on. Adolescence and anonymous. Let's get two up at the same time here. Right? Adolescence. Right, what is confusing about this word? Where might you trip up? Adolescence. Again, there we have the S and the C, right? Giving us this sound. One of them's, I like to think there that the C is silent in that one, right? Adolescence. Everything else is exactly as you'd expect it to be, but the silent C is, which could make it what I call a trip-up word. Adolescence. Try and remember that one there. If you don't think you can, please, write them down as I talk here. I'll try and keep the words up for as long as possible. But as I say, I do have quite a lot to get through. You'll be absolutely amazed at how many you learn from this video, even if you're not writing them down. Right, and we had anonymous, anonymous. Quite often a word is spelled as it is pronounced. Anonymous, not anonymous. Anonymous, anonymous, an anonymous person. There we have it. Anonymous, M-O-U-S is giving us the mus sound there, but it is pronounced anonymous. 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 I am anonymous. Okay? Sorry, another area there that could trip you up is the fact that there's only one N and yet the word has got the A sound and not the A sound. If you watched the Alphabet Words Part 1, you will have noticed that there were a few words that did this to us. You remember apostrophe? But as I say, this is a new video here, and these are all brand new words which we haven't shown on previous videos. I think apart from a couple. Right, okay, we're going to go for, we're going to move on, move you along as quickly as possible here, because we do have a lot to get through. Behaviour. Behaviour, right, behaviour. Behaviour, you could, well, that has a suffix at the end of it, doesn't it? Behave. Add the suffix, the bit at the end, behaviour. 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 I-O-U-R, giving us the your sound. Behaviour. Behaviour. I-O-U-R. Right? A lot of people think that it's just O-U-R at the end, but in English, okay, in English, it's I-O-U-R. Behaviour, right? Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy. Beau. B-E-A-U-T-I-F-U-L would spell beautiful. Right. This one here, not necessarily for that. It's bureaucracy, just spelled B-U-R. Bureaucracy, yes. The E-A-U there would be giving us the O sound, isn't it? Okay? You could split that up. Bureaucracy, right? And you can say bureaucracy, and the EA is giving us the O sound. Alright? Yeah, and as you see, I've thrown in beautiful as well there, because I'm, that kind of person. Right, bureaucracy. You may have to write that one down. I know it's a bit of a tricky one there. A lot of people slip up with that one too, because they think it ends SA at the end, when of course it ends with a C, Y at the end. A lot of people think it ends SY, but it ends CY. Business. The U giving us the S sound here, as it does with quite a lot of words. Business. Well, it does with some words. I wouldn't say a lot. It does with some. Business. Right? You could say that the I is silent there. Well, it is, because you don't pronounce it busyness, do you? Business. What business is it of yours? That's how it's spelled. Commonly misspelled word. Business, spelled buzziness. But for goodness sake, do not pronounce it like that. There you have it. Business. Breadth. The length and breadth of this swimming pool. The length and breadth of this room. Breadth is spelt like so. Silent there. Which letter is silent in breadth? It is, of course, the A. Breadth. You do not say breadth. Of course, the A is also silent in the word bread. Moving on to C, move you along. Right, campaign. Campaign. Commonly misspelled word. You can probably see why. The AIG the AIG, you know, or the AIGN giving us the AIN sound, right? Okay, the silent G there. There's other words in the English language which give us the AIN sound, like rain, refrain, and gain, and stain, and main, right, which don't require a silent G. Campaign does require a silent G. C-A-M-P-A-I-G-N. Chauffeur. If you're well off, you will have a chauffeur to drive you around in either a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, or you know, a car of equal quality to that. Right? That would be nice. I know, chauffeur. Chauffeur. Shh. The CH giving us the sh sound. Okay, AU giving us the aw sound. Double F in that one, EUR at the end. It's not really overly surprising that that word is commonly misspelled. That may be one that you want to write down and practice a few times before you master it. Chauffeur. A chauffeur. Okay? As I say, I'm leaving these words up for as long as I possibly can to give you a chance to write them down and practice them, which I want you to do before I put you into your spelling test, right? Okay, claustrophobia. A fear of enclosed spaces, that's what that means. Claustrophobia. You could be claustrophobic, right? Claustrophobic being an adjective. Claustrophobia being a noun. Claustrophobia. Alright, claustrophobia. Claustrophobia. The A-U giving us the aw sound. We've already noticed that in chauffeur, haven't we? Chauffeur. Claustrophobia. Right. PH giving us the F sound there. Quite often it does, especially in longer words, right? It will give us the F sound, PH giving us the F sound. Claustrophobia, right? I'd probably just say it's really, it's the AU giving us the aw sound, and it's the PH giving us the F sound, where people might get mixed up with that one there. Coincidence, that was quite a coincidence. That was some coincidence, that. Coincidence. Right? Spelt coincidence. Quite often, C gives us the K sound. It gives us the K sound more often than K does. K. Coincidence. 3 C's and no S's involved in the word coincidence at all, despite the fact that coincidence is giving us not only the K sound, it is also giving us the S sound as well. You may have to write that one down. Coincidence. It's not coincidence, it's coincidence. That can also cause confusion. Does it end ance or does it end ence? In this instance, it ends coincidence. Don't forget that these are tricky words to spell. I'll make no, you know, I'm not kidding here. You can see I'm not kidding. They are tricky ones, but let's at least master some of them here. Let's go through some more. Connoisseur. Quite often these words are words that you try and avoid because you know that you just can't spell these annoying words. No, but I just won't avoid it. Instead of saying connoisseur, I'm just going to say somebody who is an expert, let's say, in wine. Wouldn't it be more professional to say he is a connoisseur? He is a connoisseur of fine wine. Yeah, of course it would. Well, that's how it's spelled anyway, connoisseur. Connoisseur, tricky one. Yes, con. There we have the two N's following C-O double N. So that's letting us know that it's aw. Although it's a rough guideline this, but it does help you out in long words. All right. Connoisseur. C-O-double-N. Okay. O silent. Right. O silent. Then you've got I, connoisseur. You could also argue, well, connoisseur. It's not connoisseur, connoisseur. So what makes I turn to E? In a lot of words, two consonants following the vowel. So there we have it. And then of course you've got the E-U-R. So you could say that the E is silent there. I know. It's a cacophony of silent letters, and no surprise that a lot of people spell it wrong. Let's put it that way. Quite sure that may be one that you will have to write down. Please have your notepad and pen ready, and don't forget you can pause this video at any time. That's why we can go through it quickly, because unlike a teacher at school, you can't pause and rewind a teacher at school. You can pause and rewind me and watch me again and again and again if you want to. Development. We're on to D now. So yes, as you probably noticed there with the word development. This looks very simple compared to these other right confusing ones we had, doesn't it? Development, right? A lot of people get mixed up with this one here because they think that there is an E at the end of P, and it is develop. It is not, it is develop, right? I must develop my film. Although people don't do that anymore, do they? Everybody's got digital cameras. I must develop my film. So therefore, develop, if you're adding a suffix to the end, right? A suffix, the bit at the end, which transforms the meaning of a word, as we discussed time and time again throughout my videos. Development, so all you need to do there is just put M-E-N-T at the end. It's development. Don't write that one down. Try and memorize that one there, because it's quite simple. Development. Quite an easy one, that one, development, compared to the other ones anyway. Dilemma. D-I-L-E-M-M-A. Dilemma. Not too hard. It makes sense. The two M's following E, giving us the E sound, which happens in a lot of words. Dilemma. Try to memorize that one there without writing it down if you can. Can't, fine, write it down. That's absolutely fine. Doesn't matter how long it takes in your practice. All that matters is the end result. You are getting the spellings correctly. Right, deterrent. A deterrent. Right? You will have to run around the school grounds for half an hour if you're late. Well, that would be a good deterrent, because who wants to run around the school grounds for half an hour? You'd rather be on time, wouldn't you? Deterrent. Deterrent, deterrent. Full of E's, that word, isn't it? A lot of people think there's an A in there somewhere. There's not. Deterrent. Again, do you see it there? Did you see it? Do you notice the two R's? It's assisting us there. It's letting us, you know, it's saying, well, you know, it's deterrent. It's not deterrent. It's deterrent. Okay? Deterrent. Dependence. Dependence. I have a great dependence. Right? Dependence. Dependence. Confuses a lot of people because, again, just like with deterrent, they think it ends A-N-C-E. A lot of people normally get the depend bit right because they know it's not depend, they know it's not dapend, they know it is depend. They get that bit right, no problems there. They trip up at the end because they think it's dependence. It's not, it is dependence. Okay? On to E. Oh, here's one here. Oh, I tell you what, you will be very, very embarrassed if you get this one wrong. Right? Can you tell me how to spell embarrassed? 2 R's and 2 S's. Embarrass. 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 Past tense. Past participle. I was embarrassed yesterday. I will embarrass you. Talking in the future. He is an embarrassment. It is embarrassing. Okay? 2 R's and 2 S's. It trips so many people up, that one there. That's how it's spelled. Embarrass. 2 R's, 2 S's. The rest is quite self-explanatory. Emphasize. Right? Emphasize. Size. We all know how to spell size. S-I-Z-E. Emphasize. The PH giving us the F sound there. That's the only thing I think it's tricky with emphasize. That one wasn't too hard. Erroneous. Erroneous. I made an erroneous decision. Incorrect. That's what it means basically, right? Without going into chapter and verse, right? Erroneous. An erroneous decision. An erroneous dish. I have been given an erroneous dish. The wrong dish. Erroneous. That's how it's spelled. Erroneous. There we have our old friend there, the 2 consonants following the vowel, letting us know. Right, okay. Erroneous, erroneous. Not too hard on there. Alright. E-O-U-S at the end of erroneous. Euthanasia. Euthanasia. Spell it like that. Right, I'm going to get a few up for you now here because obviously it's time factor here. Explanation. We'll throw this one here. Explanation. Okay. This confuses people here because they know that explanation, and that's one of these words with a suffix at the end of it there. It comes from the word, the verb explain, to explain something. Okay, the infinitive verb. Right? Explain. They think, well, it's explanation. No, it's not. It's not spelled like that when you add a suffix to the end. You drop the I. Explanation. Spell assess. Spell assess. The verb assess. To assess someone's understanding. Assess. That's question number 2. Right? Question number 3. Spell embarrass. Question number 3. Spell embarrass. Embarrass. To embarrass someone. To make them blush. To go red in the face. Embarrass. Question number 3. Spell embarrass. chauffeur. Spell chauffeur. Chauffeur. What is a chauffeur? I explained it earlier. That's someone who does the driving. It's somebody who drives your car. Like a limousine. You'd have a chauffeur in a limousine. You'd sit in the back with all your airs and graces. A chauffeur. He is my chauffeur. A chauffeur. A president would have a chauffeur. A queen would have a chauffeur. I have a chauffeur. Well, I don't actually. I should have really. Chauffeur.